Shalom. Call hello Yahweh by Shem Shai, by Shem Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered among the heathen nations that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners, and the Akwaf that are listening and learning. To you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm. I'm coming at you with another lesson. And it's going to be quick. But basically, the name of this is going to be called uncomfortability. All right, system breakdown. So the system is breaking down and it's really starting to show itself. You know, from the onlooker, you know, just above me is a little forest area, then a highway, and you would think that everything is normal, just looking around the neighborhood, and you know, but it's not. System is really starting to wear itself and break down. And let's get a quick scripture, because the day of doom is approaching. Now we're not in SHTF 3 yet. We're still in phase 2, but stage 3 is just around the corner. It's and I don't know how many phases until it's full blown. But we're entering into 3, and it looks like a phase happens every couple weeks. So we're about to enter into 3, and I can say between 7 and 10, it's going to be blood in the streets. That's. But let's go to. And that was me speaking as a man, but I'm speaking as what I see, and that the prophecies are popping off, and the prophecies are speaking loud and clear, despite what I have to say. All right, but this is 2nd Ezra 7:43, and it says, "But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of immortality for to come, whereupon corruption is past." So, because it's going to get so bad, like it said, you know, when it gets so bad, the Lord's going to lift up that standard, and the elect, the men of the elect of the 144,000, are going to, you know, the ones that are here on the earth in the flesh are going to get that upgrade, because the Lord's going to lift up that standard. Why? Because it's going to get so bad out here that it's going to take spiritual power from on high, supernatural power, if you will, to live and survive through all the terrors that are going to be around about. Let's grab Isaiah 54:17. I believe it's Isaiah. And it reads, "No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that riseth against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh, and their righteousness is of me, saith Yahweh." So, you know, they're going to come against us and try to group us in with all these different groups that they have, that they're going to put their hands on and destroy. But once they start putting their hands on the men of the Lord, it's going to be a wrap, man. All right. So this is the times that we have been waiting for. All right. And the fact is, the way he is doing things is he's prescribed. He's not singling out the Hebrew Israelites, and he's not talking about them as much, because that's the thing. The weird thing is that although the Hebrew Israelites reading the Bible is no physical threat to anyone or anything, but yet they're the biggest threat to the power structure of E. Not the white supremacists, which are on their lips a lot lately, nor the anything matters movements or any of that stuff, you know, or nor even these militia groups, because man, they'll just send a drone to take care of them. All right. You know, they're not going to waste a whole lot of men trying to go at it with those militias. They're going to send drones, man. Roll down on them with heavy tanks and drones and things of that nature. They're not going to waste their soldiers on them. But none of that's going to work against the elect. You know, there's no weapon that E can form, you know, that's going to work against the people of the elect as things get you know, worse and worse down here. But it turns out that just listening to different news clips, that China is burning coal to fake a recovery. So they're trying to make it look like their factories are working, but they're not. you know. So from the satellites, you know, you can see because the pollution is still down, and China is probably one of the most polluted places on the planet. But it's simple as far as air quality because of all the manufacturing, all the factories that are burning 24/7, you know, 365, and those factories aren't burning. So China is actually burning coal just to try and make it look like they're busy, and they're not, man. And as they're doing that, this virus has gotten out of control in America, and people are beginning to see the threat of it. And you got, you know, different financial analysts are just starting to be real about it. Mainstream media is still talking about it, but they're still trying to control the narrative. And truth be said, they've lost control of this thing and the narrative. They won't be able to control and falsify that narrative, and they're gonna try to probably do that up until the last moment, man. All right, because you still got people that think everything's gonna eventually be okay, and then you got the other half, a big portion of the population, who are going out getting food and resources, batteries and rice and all that stuff. All right, and meanwhile, this place is finished, and it cannot and will not be healed. As a matter of fact, let's get Jeremiah 51, 8 and 9. And it reads, Jeremiah 51 and 8, and it reads, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto the heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. And that's what you're going to see very soon. People abandoning nations. You're seeing it already. Nations abandoning and getting away from and disconnecting from Babylon. All right, and the smart people are preparing to go back to their own country. You know, I was just had a Indian lady in the car, and she was talking very openly about this stuff, and that she sees that it's all going to come tumbling down as well. So she can, you know, she says she can see it, man. And how she's afraid to even go do her job now, because her job requires her to go to these meetings, you know, which requires her to be on a plane and then be in big conferences with lots of people. And she don't want to touch and be around people because that virus has gotten out of control and is running rampant. Yeah. I mean, and that's true. It is. And meanwhile, the media is lying about it, and lying because they're not giving you the truth. You talk radio, like I was listening to some doctor. He sounded like a Jake on AM radio, news radio, on 820, I believe it was 820 AM. But he was saying how bad this is, and how it's starting to spread among the regular population who has not traveled, and that's the most frightening thing about it. Right? They have no, so that means that they've gotten to the point where they can't trace the contact. Okay, and the fact that they were trying to hunt down people that were contacted, you know, that had contact with these people who infected, that was enough to tell you right there. They're trying to figure out who did you come in contact with, who did you talk to, touch, you know, etc. That's telling you something. But let's go to Psalms real quick. This is Psalms 31. And in 18. And it reads, let the lying lips be put to silence, which speak grievous things proudly and contemptuous against the righteous. All right. So not only, you know, they are lying about things, but they constantly speak ill will about Jacob here in America, making us the problem. You know, you just look at the history of E and the activities that they have done, the violence that they have done, you know, just like one brother pointed out, even World War I and World War II was Edomite on Edomite, or white on white, you know, for that matter, so called. violence of millions of so-called white men banging on other white men. You know, there's no gang banging in the history of Chicago, LA, or New York that can compare to E's gang banging. See, because they're the real problem. Just like it came out that they're the biggest threat in America, white supremacy. Some group, these, and especially these groups that are coming out of New Jersey as of lately. Well, they are. Like the commercial for that movie, The Hunt, that comes out on the 13th. They said, what people would think of doing something like this? And then the white guy was like, white people, they're the worst. That's what he says on the damn commercial. But it's true. No one's record of violence and death can even come close to theirs, but yet they control and lie the narrative like they're this pious, upstanding citizens. And no, what they are is they're marauding murderers who confiscate, steal, lie, and take other people's heritage and oppress their heritage. All right? Will change, falsify history, you know, put their face as the good guy and make the innocent guy the bad guy. That's what they do. All right? That's simply what they do. And it's good. And even their women, their own women are getting to the point where they're sick of them. There's plenty of forums that you can go and Google and look up and go on YouTube where you can hear the Edomite woman complaining about their men. It's like, you know, Edomite woman's like, damn, I wish I'd have gave birth to all daughters and not men, because our men are shaming us as a race. You know, it is what it is. This is Psalms 59. And 12. For the sin of their mouth and the words of their lips, let them even be taken in their pride, and for cursing and lying which they speak. So they are being taken in their pride. They're being shamed. You know, like it says in Habakkuk. You know, I think that's 2:16. Matter of fact, let me get it instead of fumbling over it. I'll just get it. With a shameful spewing on their glory or something like that. Yes, this is Habakkuk 2 and 16, and it reads, Thou art filled with shameful glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing upon thy glory. And that's what's happening through the men of the Lord. That's why they want to shut down and control the internet. All right? And the right hand, the death angel, which is Yahweh Shai, the ultimate death angel. All right? He said, I coming back with a sword. Or you think I'm coming back for peace? I tell you nay, but I come back with a sword. All right? That sword is going to be turned on E, man. So the most powerful thing, you know, you saw how Thanos came back, you know, or came. Well, hey, that's going to be nothing compared to when Yahweh Shai come, man. All right? And last but least, Costco's and places that sell rice, there's videos of people fighting over stacks of rice in different stores and places, Costco being one of the main places. And the fact that you would have a place like Costco that sells bulk food that actually has been selling 6 months and year supplies of food, what is that telling you, man? You know, we showed you the research on how the millionaires and the billionaires were building bunkers. You can go research that for yourself with Acme bunkers. You know, those guys claim how their bunkers are the best. You know, what the statistic was, that bunkers went up 300% with millionaires. It went up 700% with billionaires. So they all know it's coming, man, and they're getting ready. Hell, there was a article like a week or two ago talking about Kanye West and Post Malone and their $1 million, luxury bunkers. You know, why would people be spending? You think these people going to spill millions and billions on bunkers if that shit wasn't real? Excuse my French. But yeah, I can imagine there's going to be a serious markup in different foods, beans, rice, powdered eggs, powdered milk, all that sort of thing. You're going to see a huge increase on these things. And, and the people that got it, good for them, but like the scripture said, man, That if you don't have the Lord on your side, you wasting your time, man. You really are. They may be better off than the people who think everything's okay and not get nothing, but in the long run, they have huge stockpiles of stuff. You know, the scripture says, "My servants shall eat." So that means that the people who getting that stuff, they're not going to eat it anyway. The servants of the Lord are. Showed you that in the movie The Road when they found that that underground bunker. You know, and I think they were there like 6 months or so before. You know, and they went down there, and the bunker was full of food. You know, pop, candy, juice, canned goods, all kinds of food. And clearly the people who set that bunker up were dead. They were not there. They did not get to enjoy that bunker at all. They probably never even made it home from work when when the shit hit the fan. They died somewhere between wherever they were and never made it back to the bunker. That's just the reality, man. All right. Last scripture is going to be 2nd Ezra 6 and 24. I'm in 7, so I'll just turn the page. In a minute, let me mark that. That's a heavy scripture. 6 and 24. Why it's so hard to turn one page? It's lucky. There we go. And it reads, "And at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein." All right. So like those people are fighting in the Costco. You're going to find out that those neighbors are, especially in big cities like this, man, because people don't really, get down with their neighbors like that. People live across the street from a person for 15, 20 years and barely speak to them. Never been in their house, never had sat down, had a drink with them. Never said more than hi and bye. You have a few people that's kind of cool with each other, but for the most part, man, even like those people in those giant apartment buildings, they don't even deal with each other like that, man. Especially E. Hell, I remember being in the mall once, many, many years ago when I was a young man, in the Marine Corps, and I was hanging out with a couple Marine buddies, and it was this one big Italian dude, Ruggiero. And Ruggiero noticed that Jake, every time Jake walked past each other, they would like nod their head like, "What's up? What's up?" They would, and he was like, man, because I remember when some guys walked by us and did it, we gave them the the little head nod, like, "Hey, what's up, bro?" And he was like, "Do you know them?" And I was like, "Nah." And he was like, "Man, white people don't do that." That was, It's true, man. And I think about Ruggiero, he might have been a Jake, man. I don't know. But nevertheless, people, they're not friendly like that. They're not neighborly like that. It's not like Leave It to Beaver days, man, where they invite each other over for lemonade and tea and and that whole sort of thing. That's not happening. So it says, "And at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein, and the springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run." So it's going to be no water in America either, man. So, and you can go without food for a while. You'll be uncomfortable. You'll be sick. You might be a little weak. But you can actually go without food for a matter of weeks. You can't go without water for a matter of days. And the water in big cities like this will clearly be undrinkable. Eventually, the way they got it set up, all the water is connected to the electricity. So once the electricity goes off, that's it. So with that, all praises going on to be unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Abashai, Ba'ashem Wakakwadash, Wa Abba Babal. Stay prayed up.